Xiao Zhan just broke the internet and Macau fans went absolutely feral. Hold up, did you just see what happened in Macau? Xiao Zhan stepped out for literally 30 seconds, and the entire street turned into a screaming ocean. Phones in the air, fans crying, security losing their minds. This is not a drill. This is Xiao Zhan's power in 2025. Right now on X, one single clip is exploding everywhere, already hundreds of thousands of views in just hours, and you can feel the chaos through the screen. Picture this: Todd's luxury pop-up, red carpet, ribbon cutting done, everyone thinks the event is over. Then suddenly, the doors open. Xiao Zhan walks out in that sleek black suit, flashes that smile, waves like he's waving straight into your soul, and the crowd erupts. We're talking screams, so loud you can't even hear yourself think. Fans from China, Thailand, Japan, Malaysia, all losing it at the same time. Here's why this 30-second moment is breaking the internet harder than usual. Xiao Zhan barely does offline events anymore. When he disappears for months and then suddenly shows up looking this unreal, it's like a cultural earthquake. This wasn't some distant stage. He was right there, close enough that fans could see every detail of his face, every tiny wave, every soft "thank you" he mouthed. And X is flooding with slow-motion replays, zoomed-in smiles, fans analyzing his eye crinkles frame by frame. One fan on X wrote, "I flew 7 hours to Macau, and when he looked in my direction for half a second, I forgot how to breathe." Another said, "I've been his fan for 6 years, and this is the closest I've ever been. I'm shaking while typing this." That's not just fandom, that's devotion on another level. Right now, hashtag #ShaoZhanMacau is trending worldwide. Thai fans are calling it the day the world stopped. Japanese fans are spamming heart emojis in all caps, and international Zhan-lang are begging brands to bring him everywhere after seeing this energy. Todd's literally won the lottery picking him as global ambassador because no one moves crowds like this in 2025. If you thought his power peaked with the untamed babe, you thought wrong. One wave, one smile, 30 seconds, and he just reminded the entire world why he's untouchable. Drop if you screamed at this clip too. Full Macau Chaos video is on X right now. Link in description. Go watch it before it hits 10 million views. And tell me in the comments, would you survive being 5 meters away from Xiao Zhan? I know I wouldn't. See you in the next meltdown. Dilraba in turbulence, when a star realizes beauty alone can't carry a drama. In the world of Chinese entertainment, where brightness is everything and momentum can evaporate overnight, few names shine as fiercely as Dilraba Dilmurat. 4 years, she has stood at the center of attention, a face that the camera loves, a presence that draws instant headlines, and a fanbase powerful enough to shake social platforms with a single hashtag. But this time, something feels different. Something feels heavier. Something feels dangerously real. Her new drama, Xiao Qi Rang, launched with the usual anticipation reserved for a top-tier star. Yet in its very first 3 days, the numbers told a sobering story. Instead of soaring upward as a typical Dilraba-led premiere would, the heat index drifted in small, shaky increments, a hesitant climb followed by an early slip. Within a mere 72 hours, the excitement that once burst like fireworks turned into a flickering candle. For longtime observers of the industry, this is more than a trend line. It's a warning. A studio in panic, a fanbase mobilized. When the official studio released a promotional video titled, "You Are Too Weak," what should have felt inspiring instead landed like a distress flare. The video showed phones, tablets, and computers playing the same drama simultaneously, a scene more reminiscent of a data farm than a typical fandom mobilization. Scrolling subtitles urged viewers to come support together, as if enthusiasm were no longer voluntary but required. Fans, loyal, passionate, and always ready to defend Dilraba, responded instantly. "I'm online now," flooded the comment section. Some viewers proudly displayed multiple devices looping the show. Others calculated the number of views needed to push the heat index to a new milestone. It was a moment that hovered between touching devotion and uncomfortable absurdity. Because deep down, everyone knew. A drama doesn't falter because fans didn't work hard enough. A drama falters when the story itself is too fragile to stand. The weight of a weak story, and Xiao Zhan is at its core fragile. Viewers reported the same sensation again and again: exhaustion. Not the good kind that comes from gripping suspense or emotional immersion, but the fatigue of unfocused editing, scenes that feel rushed yet empty, and emotional shifts so thin they barely leave a trace. The pacing is mild, the conflict soft, and the storytelling struggles to ignite anything resembling tension. Even Dilraba's performance, normally buoyed by her natural charisma, feels muted. Not flawed, not broken, simply absent. Her eyes are luminous, but the emotions behind them seem distant. Her lines are clean, but the character lacks edge. It's as if her beauty, long considered a blessing, has slowly hardened into a boundary, keeping her safe, polished, and unchallenged. Too safe, too polished, too unchanged. This is a dilemma fans have quietly whispered about for years: Dilraba's aesthetic cage. A place where she remains glowing, elegant, and composed, yet somehow untouched by the rawness great roles demand. A chemistry that never sparks. The casting only deepened the problem. Her co-star Chen Xingshu is perfectly capable, but the two performers orbit on different frequencies. Their emotional signals don't connect. Their rhythms don't match. No matter how close the camera brings them, there's an invisible distance, the kind that refuses to shrink even with effort. In the past, actors like Yang Yang, Gao Weiguang, and Lu Han offered a complementary energy that allowed Dilraba's characters to breathe and transform. Here, however, the mismatch becomes another burden she cannot carry. And the studio senses it, hence the urgency, hence the frantic push for numbers, the bigger crisis behind the numbers. The most alarming issue is not the drama's lackluster reception. It's what the reception represents. The audience's expectations for Dilraba are shrinking, and shrinking expectations are the silent beginning of a star's decline. When viewers see starring Dilraba and no longer wonder, will this be good? But instead ask, will this be another mediocre project? That is the true danger. Not the ratings, not the comments, but the shift in instinctive reaction. Because the modern audience is fair, fiercely fair. They do not reward an actor simply for appearing in more scenes or wearing more beautiful costumes. They reward authenticity, craft, characters that vibrate with life. A top actress is not crowned by fan numbers. She is crowned by roles that stay unforgettable long after the screen fades to black. The illusion of data, the reality of craft. The studio's desperate attempt to turn metrics into a life vest exposes a painful truth. The team is relying on numbers as if numbers could replace narrative quality. But platforms see everything. They know when data feels natural and when it feels strained. Inflated metrics may create a momentary glow, but they cannot fool the audience's instincts, nor can they repair a story that lacks soul. The danger here is not one flop. Every actor has one. The danger is a pattern, one that industry insiders have begun to notice. Dilraba does not lack fame. She lacks anchoring works, roles that restore the industry's trust in her ability to carry a story not by visual appeal, but by emotional depth. Perhaps Xiao Zhan is not a failure, but a necessary rupture, a dull blade cutting through the polished surface she has worn for years, forcing her and her team to confront truths they once overlooked. What comes next? The question now is not whether Dilraba is still a star. She is. The question is what kind of star she wants to become. Will she remain drifting in the currents of traffic-era expectations, where data replaces substance and beauty replaces grit? Or will she choose the difficult, unglamorous path inward, toward roles that demand vulnerability, craft, and risk. Because audiences can support her. They can cheer, stream, and defend. But the one thing they cannot do is carry her performances for her. A star begins to fade not when their drama flops, but when the audience no longer cares whether it does. And somewhere along the way, Dilraba's team began treating beautiful numbers as a substitute for meaningful stories. But no matter how bright the data shines, it cannot replace the one thing that made Dilraba loved in the first place. The potential to be more than a beautiful face. The potential to be unforgettable.